Zambia's information minister has defended the role of the country's independent broadcast authority in regulating the country's media. There have been complaints that the IBA is interfering with media independence by demanding all stations submit recordings of their programs every 2 weeks. Dora Silia told me why the IBA is doing that and the challenges facing the media industry in Zambia.
This is the first time in Zambia we're having a conversation about journalists coming together and saying, look, we are a profession. This is not just a job you do because you failed everywhere else. It requires a specific training. It requires a specific way to actually conduct the craft, and that it is just not anything anybody can do. What we've been saying to them, especially myself as Minister of Information and Broadcasting, has been that come together. Set the standards, because then you protect your craft, just like the lawyers have done in Zambia, just like the teachers have done in Zambia and other professions.
The questions, Minister, questions have been asked about the role of the Independent Broadcasting Authority and why it appears to be overstepping its boundaries, really, or its mandate. For instance, for the authority to tell electronic media companies to submit recorded material every 2 weeks, people don't really understand the reasoning behind that.
It's very strange for me because since in the last 5 years, the Independent Broadcasting Authority has grown the industry by providing over 45 television licenses. We only had one public broadcaster. We now have 142 radio licenses. We only had one at one
That's
point.
Not my question. My question is, do they have the mandate to demand
They
recordings?
do have the mandate because in Article Section 38 of their Act, it actually provides that all radio stations or TV stations should first of all keep 3 months broadcasting material, but secondly that the board of the IBA will demand this recordings.
On what conditions?
Well,
under what conditions? Is it investigations or is it procedural?
The law, it is procedural, provided for by the law. Look, the IBA is a creature of the law. It did not just create itself, and as such it has it is provided for in the IBA Act that they can demand from broadcasters, radio and television, for recordings, and that in fact broadcasters should keep these recordings 3 months. The law does not provide for when or how the board should be able to demand.
Why is it being enforced now? Because this letter that was sent to companies was done recently. Why now? Why not before?
Well, I mean, the point is that the IBA wants to execute its mandate better, and there's no better time than now. And out of 142 radio stations, in fact, I think over 100 have been responding every 2 weeks in providing this information. So I think that they're doing a good job.
The state broadcaster?
Yes.
When was the last time it actually interviewed an opposition member or an opposition official live on television?
Well, I think that just 2-3 weeks ago, my permanent secretary made a statement publicly that, look, he was actually encouraging our own public broadcaster to be able to interview all citizens.
The state broadcaster does not put the opposition members on air?
Actually, I think that at this point, the opposition members do not want to go to the public broadcaster because they know they'll be asked the right questions and there will be no room for sensationalism.
Zambia's Information Minister Dora Silia.